What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul. Get this. Eddie Hearn is suing Jake Paul for over $100 million due to Paul's fixing fight accusations. Eddie taking legal action against Jake Paul. The Matchroom Boxing CEO has filed a lawsuit for defamation as they claim that reputational damage from a recent interview where Paul accused Hearn of paying off judges. This is according to TMZ, who reported the news on Friday. Legally, there is a clear line separating opinion from defamation lies, Hearn's attorney Frank Salzano told TMZ. Jake Paul knows that, and he purposely crossed the line when he wrongfully accused Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn of fixing fights. Nonetheless, he was still given an opportunity to retract his defamation statements and refused to. Now he will face a legal consequence of his actions, as Matchroom and Mr. Hearn will be seeking damages in well excess over $100 million, given the value and goodwill attached to Matchroom's business and the harmful nature of Mr. Paul's comments. Wow. Paul, who gained massive following on YouTube, has been involved in boxing for the last few years, working as both professional fighter and promoter through most valuable promotions. Back in April, Paul worked together with Hearn to put on Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, one of the biggest women boxing matches in history. Paul promoted Serrano under the MVP, and Hearn promoted Taylor through Matchroom Boxing. In a very competitive contest, Taylor was awarded a split decision win over Serrano. Judge Glenn Feldman, who had the widest scorecards of the three judges overseeing the contest, scored it 97-93 for Taylor. Then a few months later, Feldman was criticized again online as he favored Matchroom's boxing Anthony Joshua in a 115-113 scorecard to beat Alexander Usyk in their heavyweight championship rematch. The two other judges saw it for Usyk, awarding him split decision. Paul wasn't happy to see Feldman scoring in both fights and claimed foul play between Hearn and Feldman earlier this month in an interview with IFL TV, which is now unavailable and put on private on YouTube. Glenn Feldman shows up in Saudi Arabia, scores Anthony Joshua to win the fight. Paul said, "Everyone watched that fight. It's not a split decision. Usyk had a runaway victory, clearly won the fight. This is Judge Glenn Feldman, gives it to Anthony Joshua. It's like a repeated crime here. This type of shit, I'm going to call it out here in boxing because it's bullshit. Clearly this guy is getting paid money by Matchroom Boxing. That's a bold statement and an accusation that I don't take lightly, but it's just blatantly obvious. You would think they would bring in different judges. That's fucked up the scoring of Taylor Serrano to Saudi Arabia." And that is exactly what put now Jake Paul in the hot seat in the court. Let me counterpunch. Jake Paul, if he doesn't know business, he should know business by now. You can't talk that type of business and point it towards a promoter or a promotional company. Now, he could say that the judge is corrupt, because we all know that judges are corrupt. This is boxing, the sport that I love, that I hate so much. We all know that. We know that people are paid off. Melvina Lathan was more than likely paid off by whom? Whoever, right? See, once you start getting to the source, that's when you get yourself in trouble. You know, CJ Ross scored it for Canelo over Mayweather. Well, Canelo drawing with Mayweather, right? Levi Martinez had Canelo beating Lada 9-3. Yes, there's bullshit in the sport of boxing. Holyfield scoring a draw with Lennox Lewis and getting beat down there every round. Yes, there is corruption in boxing, but one thing you don't do is blame one person for that particular corruption. See, that's the thing. He can say, he can talk about Glenn Feldman all he wants, all right? But actually, Glenn Feldman is not the problem. The person that paid him is the problem. That's why you don't fuck with the source. You know, he could just say Glenn Feldman was paid off, but once he said Glenn Feldman was paid off by Matchroom, oh, it's over with. He expects to get sued. You better ask Floyd Money Mayweather about that. Why? Because Floyd did that shit to Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, he taking them pellets. We gonna drug test his ass. He taking them pellets. Yeah, he gonna have to take a drug test. We gonna put his ass on USADA. We're going to put his ass on USADA. But then when that lawsuit was thrown in there, oh, okay. I never said he was taking anything. I never said that. Yes, that lawsuit will change you up quick. So I don't know what Jake Paul's going to do, but it's bold. It's kind of dumb. You know, it's ballsy. I'll say that much. But at the end of the day, yeah, Eddie Hearn has the right to sue him because you don't come after a whole promotional company, especially as big as Matchroom, you know, with those accusations, especially if you don't have any proof. You ain't seen a pocket of money getting slid over to somebody else. And then even if that's the case, you go and buy it the wrong way. You should report that to some other source that's shown like, hey, that looks like some small envelope was placed in the hands of Glenn Feldman by Eddie Hearn or something, or officiates of Eddie Hearn. That's the way you do that. Not saying, hey, Eddie Hearn's cheating and I think he's paying off judges. You do that, you're going to be sued. And I know Jake Paul has some money. I don't know how much money, but shit, $100 million can break anybody. Unless you're Bill Gates and billionaires like that and such in pharmaceutical companies. But Jake Paul, I don't think is one of those guys. Counterpunch. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn suing Jake Paul for over $100 million in damage for defamation of character. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.